You're remembered for the rules you break. Those are the words of Stockton Rush. On June 18, 2023, Stockton Rush and his team at OceanGate were in the midst of preparations for a highly contentious mission to explore the wrecked Titanic ship more than 100 years ago. Were there any warning signs before taking on this deadly mission? More than 80 of the ocean remains unexplored, and yet this did not stop them. Approximately 12,500 feet, roughly 370 nautical miles southeast of Newfoundland's coast, lies the wreckage of the RMS Titanic. Once touted as the unsinkable marvel of its era, this grand vessel met its tragic fate by colliding with an iceberg on the night of April 14, 1912. This incident claimed the lives of around 1,500 individuals on board, solidifying its place as one of the most renowned and mournful disasters in history. Remarkably, even after 121 years, the allure of the Titanic refuses to wane. Stockton Rush. The visionary behind OceanGate recognized this enduring fascination as an opening to accompany eager adventurers to the site of the wreck. Rush, an adventurer in his own right, had originally aspired to be an astronaut in his youth. However, this dream was thwarted due to his poor eyesight, rendering him ineligible for astronaut training. Despite this setback, Rush graduated from Princeton University with a degree in aerospace engineering and went on to establish OceanGate expeditions in 2009. Denied the opportunity to explore the cosmos, Rush redirected his focus to the perilous depths of the ocean. Through his latest creation, the Titan submersible, he and OceanGate commenced offering excursions to the Titanic wreck for a fee of $250,000 per person. Yet, a critical issue loomed. The design of the Titan sub differed significantly from established deep-sea engineering standards. Its hull, rather than the customary spherical titanium design, was shaped like a pill to accommodate more passengers. This alteration, coupled with limited testing of the carbon fiber hull, demonstrated Rush's oversight of the formidable pressures of the ocean's depths. Planning came to fruition. Led by Rush, the team went on a lifelong aspiration to delve into the oceanic abyss and observe the Titanic's wreckage up close. The crew, including financier Hamish Harding, Pakistani investor Shahzad Dawood, his son Sulaiman, renowned French diver Paul-Henri Nargel, and Rush himself, boarded the vessel Polar Prince. The plan was an 8-hour voyage to the Titanic's resting place. Following delays due to harsh winter weather, Newfoundland's most severe in 4 decades, the expedition finally commenced on June 18. At 4 a.m., the Titan submersible, carrying Rush and 4 others, breached the ocean's surface. The journey into the depths of the North Atlantic. Initially, all proceeded according to plan, with the sub maintaining intermittent contact with the Polar Prince through digital messages every 15 minutes. This communication protocol aimed to monitor progress and address any issues promptly. Nonetheless, safety concerns weren't foreign to Rush and his team. In 2018, David Lockridge, OceanGate's former director of marine operations, was dismissed for raising alarms about the carbon fiber hull's deficiencies and other potential problems. Furthermore, industry experts cautioned against the substantial risks linked to the Titan sub's development. Despite these warnings, OceanGate remained steadfast in its confidence, driven by Rush's determination. Notably, a test dive conducted by Brian Weed, a Discovery Channel camera operator, in May 2021 exposed issues with the sub's propulsion system shortly after launch. We'd also highlighted Rush's somewhat nihilistic perspective on the life or death situation within the sub, where occupants would be trapped without external assistance. In an interview, Weed conveyed Rush's viewpoint. Being stranded without rescue for an extended period would inevitably lead to death, rendering escape mechanisms less crucial. Tragically, the convergence of these factors would eventually culminate in a harrowing disaster, shattering the aspirations of those on board and highlighting the profound dangers of venturing into the ocean's uncharted depths. On another occasion, the sub encountered issues with its navigation system, causing it to wander aimlessly on the ocean floor before eventually resurfacing. Additionally, it came to light that the vessel had faced communication problems in the last 10 dives it had undertaken. Numerous reports have since emerged, shedding light on the fact that OceanGate, particularly Rush, took several shortcuts during the vessel's construction. These reports have highlighted significant concerns such as lack of proper regulation, insufficient testing, and the use of inexpensive materials to cut costs. In a previous interview, Rush drew attention to the homemade aspects of the Titan submersible, including handles on the ceiling that he claimed were purchased from a store. However, he denied that the vessel was hastily assembled. Despite its unconventional design, the lackadaisical approach and disregard for safety soon proved to be OceanGate's downfall. Stockton Rush would be remembered as a reckless so-called engineer who gambled with the lives of innocent people. Not surprisingly, 2 hours into the dive, communications with the sub abruptly ceased, despite repeated attempts to establish contact. The Polar Prince received only silence in response. Soon afterward, it was disclosed that a U.S. Navy acoustic detection system, originally designed for locating military submarines, detected a mysterious acoustic signature consistent with an implosion or explosion. This data was recorded in the same area where the Titan had gone missing, with no further communications from the sub. The Polar Prince finally alerted the U.S. Coast Guard about the missing vessel after waiting for more than 8 hours. Speculation arose that valuable time might have been wasted in the race to find survivors, as only 96 hours worth of oxygen remained on board the sub. An international coalition of rescue forces promptly mobilized, but their efforts were hampered by the remote location and challenging weather conditions. Various aircraft from the U.S. and Canadian forces conducted aerial searches, while U.S. and Canadian Navy ships engaged in frantic sonar exploration of the ocean floor. However, the absence of a recovery system or an emergency beacon on the experimental carbon fiber submersible presented significant hurdles to the rescue efforts. The U.S. Navy deployed its flyaway deep ocean salvage system, known as FADAS, to assist in locating the submersible, but to no avail. As each day passed, additional ships and robotic submersibles joined the search, systematically scouring the ocean floor for any signs. However, time was of the essence as the sub's oxygen supplies neared depletion. As June 20th approached, concerns escalated about the structural integrity of the Titan's hull, with fears that it might have failed completely, leading to the crushing of the vessel. A breakthrough occurred on June 22nd when a remotely operated vehicle from the offshore vessel Horizon Arctic discovered debris from the heavily damaged front section of the Titan's hull, scattered about 1,600 feet away from the remains of the sunken RMS Titanic. This discovery officially confirmed a catastrophic implosion due to the intense pressure of extreme depths, causing the failure of the Titan's hull and instantaneously crushing all 5 souls on board. The victims, at least, did not experience pain, as the event occurred within milliseconds, leaving no time for their brains to register the tragic implosion. On June 28th, the Coast Guard reported the recovery of debris and human remains from the Titan's sub. These items were brought back to land, marking the conclusion of the initial phase of the investigation. Authorities announced that the retrieved debris would be transported to a U.S. port for further analysis. In the months following the disaster, disturbing details emerge about Stockton Rush and OceanGate, revealing how one man's ego and arrogance led to the loss of 4 innocent passengers in his own life. The aftermath of this horrific tragedy spurred calls for more stringent regulations governing crafts built for carrying paying passengers on such expeditions. Despite operating seemingly within legal limits in unregulated ocean waters, and with passengers signing waivers acknowledging the risks, OceanGate was forced to halt operations, and legal consequences may follow once the investigation concludes. Stockton Rush once said, "You're remembered for the rules you break," quoting U.S. General Douglas MacArthur. It seems that Rush disregarded well-established engineering standards meant to safeguard lives at the extreme depths of the ocean. These broken rules are the reason he not only lost his own life, but also those of a legendary explorer, pioneering businessmen and philanthropists, and a young man who could have made a positive impact on the world.